back. I'm Ian Miller,
Andrew Smith, what's going on, guys?
and welcome to a new episode of Media Talk with Miller and Smith. We got a lot of topics to go through tonight in this episode. First things first, let's actually go to our sports expert. Andrew, take it away.
Thanks, Ian. So yeah, it's been a while since we did an episode. It's been a busy couple weeks, so glad we're getting back into this now.
Yes.
Um, so as most of you baseball fans all know that the season ended yesterday. Baseball ended yesterday with, unfortunately, the Houston Astros winning the World Series. But good for them. They were good all season. Their pitching was great. So I just got to give it to them. They did a great job. So congrats to the Astros. Yeah, and unfortunately, this season didn't go the way Mets or Yankees fans wanted it to go. But unfortunately, that's baseball. Some things, you want every year you want your team to make it to the World Series, but you know, it's hard. It gets harder and harder to make it and win it. So hopefully by next year, the Mets or the Yankees will get to the World Series, or maybe we'll have a Subway Series, World Series next year. But way too early for that right now. So yeah, so we'll talk about a lot of stuff during the off season. Um, what's going on, what moves will happen, what we think will happen, what not. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on that. Um, and yeah, not much to really happen right now. There was a post out. The Mets did not waste any time, so all you Mets fans out there should be excited about what just happened a couple hours ago, which the Mets have signed their closer to a 5-year deal worth $102 million. So Mets fans should be definitely excited about that. Um, so yeah, baseball is officially over. So I'll keep you updated on the off season, and then we'll talk about it and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, it's been a very unexpected baseball season, but we're now full into our football season, and a lot of people are, hoping for very good matchups. So far, they've been, pretty stellar. But we're hoping that either our Giants or Jets will actually, make it this year.
Yeah, we'll get into that football stuff as well. Giants and Jets have a winning record right now. Um, Giant Giants, sorry, Giants have a bye week this week. So they went into the bye week 6-2. So that should make Giants fans like me, and you,
Hmm.
very, very excited for 6-2 going into the bye week. And Jets pulled an upset over the Buffalo Bills, winning 20-17. How about that? Um,
Incredible,
yeah,
incredible.
right. That was a complete shocker. Didn't think they were going to pull it out, but they did. So that was just wow. And they go 6-3 in the division. So it's a tight division in both NFC and AFC. So keep you all updated on that.
All right, fantastic stuff. So fantastic stuff to look forward to. Okay, now we get to the movie slash comic entertainment segment of obviously of our show.
Mhm.
First things first, we actually did manage to see Warner Brothers' latest DC comic movie, Black Adam, starring Dwayne Johnson.
Mhm. Yes, we did.
Yeah, going into this, we kind of knew what we were expecting because we had heard a little bit about the character. Certainly knew about the character. Um, but this was a film that was a long time coming because many people have been wanting Dwayne Johnson to play the character. He had been wanting to play the character,
Mhm.
and you know, um, so we were going into this with the excitement that we knew it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I will say though, if you haven't seen the film yet, please stop watching this episode because there's gonna be some spoilers.
Yes.
In fact,
Yes.
let's give the audience a chance to start the episode. Just give it a second. Did you do it?
What do
Okay,
you
okay,
say?
okay,
Do
okay,
it? Did they do it? I don't
okay,
know.
okay. We can talk about it now. We can talk about it now.
Okay. Yeah. So I was there was a he was on Jimmy Fallon last week
Hmm.
or 2 weeks ago, something like that, and he was talking about Black Adam promoting it. And he said he was actually in development since 2007, I believe. I
Yeah,
believe 2007, 2008. That's how long this movie has been in production and how much he wanted to play back Black Adam. So when I heard that, that was actually pretty wow that it went third 15 years. 15 years it
didn't know
went.
that, folks.
So I'm really happy that they made this movie. Um, and he did a great job. The cast did a great job. We did talk about it after the movie ended, you and me.
Yeah,
We thought that the villain was a little bit weak.
yeah,
Um, could have they I feel like they could have made the villain a little bit better, but towards the end of the movie, I thought, that was they made the villain more threatening than they did in the beginning.
yeah. But still, the even the threat should have been a bit more tweak there.
Yeah.
That it's very hard to some things translate, from a comic to a movie pretty well. Some don't really work. This is one of the occasions where like it kind of works, but doesn't kind of work.
Hmm.
So
Right.
it's always a mixed balance. It's always a balance. You have to say, okay, what works in the comic doesn't quite work here. So let's just see what the other threat is. But what was interesting was, much of the movie was obviously about Black M's the threat.
Hmm. Right.
And it's interesting, but the people can doc, they need someone like him. And they make this a very strong point because, yeah, heroes don't kill, but unfortunately, you do need some that, are willing to go over the line,
Right.
which Black M obviously demonstrates. But the question going forward for DC, especially with Black M in the mix, how far is the line? How far is he's gonna go past the line? What's gonna happen? Is he gonna invade, the OS? What's he's gonna do with the Justice League? Well, this is bring up an interesting point. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, shame on you. This is a big, big, big spoiler at the end of the movie. A certain somebody, I don't know, somebody with a red cape, blue suit, red S. Maybe you've heard of him, Superman. He shows up. That's right. Henry Cavill, the man himself, dons the iconic costume once again.
Hmm. Yeah, that was a really great sight to see. Him coming back as Superman. But more, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what you said, it's mostly like him trying to, because he's been in prison or wherever he was for 5,000 years.
Hmm.
So it's pretty much his origin trying to work with someone instead of like killing people.
Yeah,
It's because we saw that he was trying to kill the people that was trying to bring him in. Um, and he's trying to himself get used to being or working together with someone or with a team. So it's going to take getting used to with him, but I don't know. I don't know where he's going to go from here.
yeah. And that team, of course, is the Justice Society of America,
Mhm.
which actually has ties to Amanda Waller, which we also saw in the movie, because she actually
About to
calls the
say
Justice Society to actually go after Black Adam.
yes, and Viola Davis does return in that role. So once again, she's a badass as ever. But
She's just a force to be reckoned with, especially she's talking about perfect casting to play, one of those, you know, heavy hitting character like Amanda Waller.
yeah, yeah, no, of course, she's great. She's just the
Yeah, badass. You
whatever the word
said
is. Yeah,
badass.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, towards the end of the movie, you see her again, and then talking to Black Adam that he he tells her to send everybody. So
Oh,
to have her try and stop him. So, and that's obviously when Henry Cavill comes back as Superman, back in the picture.
yeah. We're definitely gonna be seeing a Superman versus Black Adam matchup. That's definitely gonna be happening. Um, we'll talk a little bit about Henry's thoughts about Superman going forward a little bit.
Hmm.
But some of the surprising performances by this team of castmates was obviously Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate.
Yeah. Um, we talked about that too, that, we still think he could still play James Bond. But
Yeah, Pierce looks pretty good. He could definitely play an older Bond if he wanted to.
oh yeah, I mean, maybe just shave the beard or just keep the beard. I don't know. I don't know if you want
I don't
to.
know. The beard's kind of working. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but with him as Dr. Fate, he played that role really well. I think he just played it beyond expectations. So he did a really great job.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, Pierce actually wanted to play, in a comic book movie.
Hmm.
Just never had the opportunity. Well, he did have an opportunity to actually be in Batman, the original Tim Burton movie. He
Yeah.
was, considered at one point, and then Pierce, to his credit, said, "How's this gonna work?" Guy in his underpants, wearing his underpants. And like Pierce, you just killed it. You just killed the job. But again, he was probably at that point still reeling from the fact that, at that point, our our Broccoli and company had passed on him to play James Bond at that time.
Hmm.
So I don't know, Pierce, but welcome to DC.
Yeah. I mean, they did tease him coming back in another film, so we'll see where they go from there. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm actually glad he passed on Batman.
Yeah,
He got to play the iconic role of James Bond, and then, with this, I mean, who knows where he can go in these movies. So I'm glad he joined this the DC universe.
yeah, especially this particular version of DC Universe, because I think now we're starting to get its groove.
Hmm.
It's still a little shaky a bit in a couple of places, but now I think we're starting to figure out, okay, this is what the plan should be going forward. I think
Hmm.
we're starting to see that. But another great versions of the characters that we've seen in the Justice Society is Hawkman.
Hmm.
Pretty good design, pretty good performance. Um, Pretty good version of the character. And Smasher, another popular character. Cyclone, yeah,
Cyclone.
Cyclone,
Yep,
yeah.
it was Cyclone.
So,
Um,
so I want to see more of this team, but I also want to see them team up with the Justice League.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if um you saw in the movie that it looked like Cyclone and Atom Smasher were kind of the rookies in that Justice Society.
Yeah,
Um, because Atom Smasher wasn't really know what he was doing. But I mean, Cyclone was a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? She was a little bit
more confident, I think.
more confident. Yeah, and he was just the rookie starting out. It looked like so.
Well, it's actually nice because we like to see that that little bit of rookie
Mhm.
nervousness, especially when you're just going off and trying to save the world. So it's nice to see that because it makes it relatable. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like your first day on the job. You don't want to screw up, and occasionally you will do screw up at it, but you learn from those screw ups. You learn from your mistakes. So
Right.
that was very nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the costumes were really, like you said, the costumes were really. I like the costumes a lot. I mean, especially
Yeah.
the Hulkman one, which was pretty cool. So,
Yeah, there
looking,
was actually one thing I noticed, not just in terms of costumes, but also the way the film was shot. It was very reminiscent of Zack Snyder's style.
that is true. I got a little bit of sense of that as well.
Lot of slow-mo shots, but also fast-paced shots. I was like, okay, I think we're sensing something here. I think Zack is still somewhat the blueprint here,
Hmm.
which I'm very pleased about that.
Yeah, and then you had, I think we noticed this at the end of the movie that they had when Henry Cavill, I think you said when Henry Cavill came in, that you heard a little bit of the John Williams thing in there.
Yeah, that many of you know the John Williams Superman theme from obviously the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, still extremely popular.
Hmm.
We heard a little bit of that in this movie. I think this is a nod, a positive nod to say respect the past, but
Hmm.
also embrace, the future. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of a positive Superman going forward. Not necessarily a bad thing, but we don't want to take away from the stuff that Zack Snyder had created in his movies.
Yeah,
So you had to find a good balance, but I think they're starting to do that.
yeah, I agree. And then they announced Man of Steel 2, so I'm glad they're creating another Man of Steel after all these years. So I'm excited where they go, where his journey goes from here now. So now that
Yeah,
he's in the DC universe.
yeah, let's actually talk about that for a second. There's actually an interview where Henry actually talks about his thoughts for the movie, and he would actually like it to be between where before Superman is actually, taken over by the anti-equation
Mhm.
from the Justice League film. So I'm like, okay, so that could still technically happen. Justice League 2 could technically happen if he's thinking about that. But again, don't want to get my hopes up. And I don't want you guys to get your hopes up either because this is all hypothetical. But it sounds like he's still hoping for that. So let's see what the
Yeah,
powers that be could actually, you know, be able to deliver on this.
yeah. I mean, you know how many times that they've announced like they've tried to get Justice League 2 and then it's never really come up. So I mean, they really could never get it off the ground. So I don't
If you
know.
if you hire the right filmmakers, come on, look at us, look at
Yeah,
us.
we got the knowledge. We can do it. We can write it. Produce
Hey,
it, direct it.
maybe we'll make it so fun that Ben will come back.
Hey, anything's possible.
Yeah. No, but it was a good movie. If you
Yep.
haven't seen Black Adam yet, go and see it now because it's actually won its third week in the box office
Yep.
at number
It
one.
made it made about 319.8, I believe. Don't quote me on that exact number, but I know it's like 319 million in the box office. So it's getting up there. But
Yeah, I think if it goes up, we're obviously gonna see in a couple weeks to see where the box office numbers are. But I think it
mhm.
could it could potentially be a green lit for a sequel. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and then obviously, I mean, you'll have it. It'll probably be dethroned by Black Panther, which is coming out next week. So,
Yeah, definitely a lot to talk about that. Let's actually get into that for a minute. We are definitely going to see it. Um, it's gonna be a hard movie to watch, for obvious reasons.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, I don't even know what to say on it. I'm excited, but I'm also sad because
It
it's a totally different scene. It's a whole totally different feeling without him. Um, yeah, I, I don't know. It's
it's gonna be a rough one, but it's still gonna be exciting.
Hmm. Yeah, they actually had a I don't know if you saw it. They actually had a special, I think it was 2 days ago. It was on ABC that they had a special of it. It was called Black Panther
Finding Wakanda,
Finding
yeah.
Wakanda. Yeah. So they had all these interviews with the director, mostly with the director, and then what it was like filming without him, and the locations that they shot. So it was actually a pretty cool special, but mostly without him, it was really, really difficult to for them to shoot without him.
Yeah. Um, just so young, and he accomplished a lot during his very short time, with us on this earth and also in his career, you know, became an inspiration for countless people
Yeah, but
and really turned the superhero genre really I, on its head, just completely changed it. And it's all better for it.
mhm.
But yeah, we're definitely going to see it, give you our thoughts on it. But yeah, it's going to be a hard movie.
The only thing I'll just touch on this for one more second. There was an interview that I saw with Martin Freeman, who actually said that nobody knew, and I don't think Marvel even knew that he was sick. So none of the cast members, the director, I don't think anybody knew that he was sick. And that kind of got me a little bit because nobody knew he was sick, and then all of a sudden he was just gone.
That's just the test of the inner strength that he had,
Mm. Yeah.
because he he was so passionate about his art form. He just wanted to keep going. You know,
Hmm.
I think it was also about building a legacy. Not just for him, but also for his kids and his family. You know, pretty much everyone in the world to say, "Hey, if I could do this, you can do it too, or do whatever you want."
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Just just so young.
yeah. So,
Anyway.
sorry if I'm getting emotional, folks. Sorry if I'm
Oh
getting
no.
emotional.
No, just rest in peace. Try to.
Yeah, your legacy is still gonna be alive.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, which brings us to our next segment, New York Comic Con. Unfortunately, somebody was not there with me.
Yes, I unfortunately could not be there because of the Mets playoffs. So I never had a chance to see what was going on. So on that note, I will turn it over to Ian, and he will discuss what he saw, what he thought. Um, so take it away, Ian.
Okay. This past year was actually quite interesting because they really opened up the main room. The main room was so spread out. It was you actually move much easier. Which
Hmm.
I have to tell you, the foot traffic the last 2 days was big.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see a lot, but was there any specific part of it that was your favorite out of the days that you went?
Interesting thing. They actually had the special booth where they actually had the DeLorean because
No way.
they're promoting the Back to the Future musical.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was fantastic. Of course, I wanted to sit in it. They wouldn't let me sit in
Right.
it. So I have some awesome shots on it, which I'll actually share with you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah, when we can get it, we'll get it on here, and I'm sure we'll hopefully by the next episode we'll show pictures on here and stuff, so you all can see.
Yeah, yeah, but it was fantastic. Very interesting thing happened though. There's not a lot of entertainment stuff, at New York Comic Con, and not just that, there was barely any comics. There, Marvel was barely there. There was IDW was there,
Mm-hmm.
but there was barely a presence. There was no DC. They usually have something there.
Mm-hmm.
There was no Image.
Mm-hmm.
Even Boom, which is another property that handles a lot of television comics. They
Mm-hmm.
weren't there either, so there wasn't much of a presence. I don't know what's happening.
What about Midtown? I'm sure Midtown was there, or
Oh, Midtown's always there. They're
okay, yeah,
always
yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, that's really it's really unlike them that there's not a lot of comics that was there this year.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities in the autograph section, though. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Fraser was definitely one of them. He was one of the longest lines,
Mm-hmm.
I'll admit. Uh, Marty and Doc were there, not the longest line, as you can imagine.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, a lot of the celebrities wanted a lot of money for their autographs.
And I understand that the Winter Soldier was there.
Yes, he was. He was by far the longest at that point.
I can imagine. Do you have, for anyone who doesn't know, do you know how much he was for like maybe an autograph or for a picture or both?
I can't remember it off the top of my head, but it
Mhm.
was probably past the $200 mark, if I'm being honest.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. None of the regulars that I expected to be there were. Kevin Conroy was not there.
Hmm.
Those of you, Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman for Batman the Animated Series and all these Batman Arkham games.
Hmm.
So yeah, he was not there. But a lot of good people were there. So in fact, Superman from Superman Lois was there.
Yes. For all for I believe now that's the only CW show now since Stargirl got canceled.
Yeah, there is really it's really become a thing of the herd over there at CW.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. I don't know. We don't know what's happening, folks. We don't know.
No, we don't. Hopefully we'll get more. But what about any other panels you saw or anything that seemed interesting to you?
Like I said, there was not a lot of exciting panels this year.
Hmm.
Again, mostly because there was no television or movie presence there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of shocking. Even some of the comic book ones were not as interesting. There was a few titles that were announced, but they were announced like weeks before. Like for example, a Batman Joker comic that's now on the stands.
Hmm.
Actually, team up. Can you imagine a worse team up?
I can't even think about it. I don't know.
No, no, no. I can't either.
I'm starting to think like now as as we've gone the past couple of years, obviously I didn't go this year, but the past couple of years, I feel like ever since COVID, there hasn't been a lot of stuff like there used to be. I feel like everything's like absent or I don't know, but I don't know, like stuff I'm saying like panels and stuff like that's not really that's hasn't really been more interesting.
No, I'm in total agreement with that because obviously with the pandemic, everything changed.
Hmm. Yeah, but um, yeah, I mean, fortunately, I couldn't go this year. Hopefully, I go next year. We'll see what baseball's like with my job and everything. But anything else that stood out to you at Comic Con when you were there, or is that is that pretty much everything?
Well, that's pretty much everything, really, because
Okay.
like I said, you're not just going to come to these things for the panels or the
Mhm.
comics. You come also for the merchandise,
Oh
t-shirts
yeah,
and whatnot. But
yeah,
yeah, there was not really a lot this year, which surprised me. But again, times are tough.
yeah. No, of course. Yeah. So thanks, Ian. Comic Con will be back next year, I believe. What was it? Earlier in October, right? Or is it later?
It's actually late in October, which is
Actually, later in October, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully I'll go next year. Comic Con will be back next year, so hopefully they have more stuff.
Mm.
Um, so I believe the next topic, or I believe the final topic, will be now what's going on with DC. The DC Studios, which is now co being co-run by the by the great director James Gunn, um, and also Peter Safran.
Let me just say, it's an inspired choice.
Yeah, I mean, I think James Gunn would be an apt would be a great co-runner for DC Studios or DC uh, Entertainment, whichever Discovery.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I believe that. I mean, I've never really seen the work for Peter Safran,
Mhm.
so I don't really know what he's about. But James Gunn, I think he can get them in the right get hopefully get them back on track with what's coming out.
Yeah, I think so too, because James, as well as anybody else, is a fan. Uh,
Hmm.
and who's committed, really cares about the fans' opinions, and
Hmm.
thoughts. And even just this past weekend, he was going through his Twitter and he saw many people talking about Save Legends of Tomorrow, or release, the original cut of Suicide Squad, the first one.
Hmm.
He's really listening to those type of thoughts, So maybe, just maybe, we'll get some of those wishes that we've been hoping for the last 8 years.
8 years.
But
I don't
yeah,
know.
time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that if hopefully things will go in the right direction and get things back on track because yeah, we've already discussed everything that was going on. So hopefully these two can lead them in the right direction as the years go on.
Yeah, but we're very excited about what's going to be coming up with DC. Like I said, we think they're on the right track, but we're excited about what's coming next because we've already gotten a preview at the new Shazam movie,
Hmm.
which is coming
Yep.
out next year. Very
Mhm.
excited.
Yeah, and then you have the Flash coming out after that.
Yeah, we'd
Um,
like to see a trailer for that soon.
yeah, I mean, as most of you know, we got a brief teaser of it months ago. But we'd like to see a full trailer of that movie. Um, Obviously, you all know what's going on with Ezra Miller, with the Flash. So
Yeah,
we'll see what's going on there after the movie ends and if they're going to recast him or not. So,
I think they should recast because at this point he's just a little bit too toxic.
hmm.
I don't think the studio's gonna get rid of the film, cancel it because again they've already poured a lot of money in this movie.
Hmm.
It's not
Yeah,
like that girl situation. I don't think this is that.
I don't think so, but hopefully it doesn't get to that. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
knock on wood.
yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna with James Gunn back. I don't. Well, James Gunn co owning the reins. I don't know if they're gonna bring back Batgirl. Maybe try and get a conversation with that. I don't know. They're just gonna keep it canceled. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just kind of like
Just
one wait and see type of
it's one of
deals.
those wait and see things. Yeah, no, of course. But yeah, and then you got Aquaman, and then we'll see what it goes from there.
Yeah, Blue Beetle is obviously on the release slate. We're not sure what the release date is for that though,
Mhm.
but we're excited about that because hey, it's another new superhero that we never saw before in
Mhm.
the live action version. So we're excited.
Yeah. Um, Great stuff down the line, and yeah. So we'll see what happens as the years go on with that.
Yeah. One last note before we actually end our show tonight. Um, Many people have been shocked with the fact that HBO has actually canceled after 4 seasons the sci-fi show Westworld. Now, I have not finished season 4 yet, so I don't know what happens towards the end. I don't know if it will be a satisfying ending. I will find out myself, but
Mhm.
I've heard a lot of the fans' problems. They wish they were had a fifth and final season to kind of close the story out. But I have to say, I think the show's going off the rails, like maybe towards season 3. If I'm being honest, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I never really got into the show. I never really saw it, so you would know better than I would on that. But yeah, I mean, from what you say, from all the reviews and the ratings that I've seen, I mean, it's a shame. Like you said, they should probably have one more season to close it out. But again, I'm not really up to date on that show, so you would know better than I would.
Yeah. But folks, I will finish season 4, and I'll give you my full thoughts on a later episode and say if you guys were right, should they do the fifth season? But unfortunately, this is part of what's happening over at Warner Brothers Discovery. They
Hmm.
are thinning the herd. They're cutting a lot of shows out of the timetable.
Yeah, I mean, please give us your thoughts on it. Comment on it. Tell us what you think.
Yeah,
Um, we'll go if leave the comments in there. We'll go over the comments in the next episode. Um, Give us, we'll talk about your comments. Um we'll give our thoughts on it, and then we'll take it from there. But
yeah. Let us know what you think. What shows should be saved,
mhm,
and
yeah,
we'll obviously have a discussion about it.
mhm. And really, just anything else that we talked about tonight. Give us your thoughts on any of the topics that we covered tonight. Give us your thoughts. Um, See what you thought. See what you think. We'll go over it and we'll talk about it. And um, yeah, um, just keep commenting. If you can.
Yeah, and of course, as always, if you like this episode as well as the other episodes, please hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more.
Please hit subscribe. We need all the subscribers that we can get. A lot of these we're very impressed by. We're actually pretty excited on all the views we've been getting so
Yeah,
far.
yeah,
Uh,
especially with our first movie post movie reaction. That was kind of cool.
yeah, yeah, almost 50 views that we saw. So just keep tuning in, keep hitting the like button, subscribe, all that stuff, and promise we won't disappoint you with all the content that we bring in.
Yeah. Um, so that's gonna be it for us for this week. I am Ian Miller,
I'm Andrew Smith.
and this has been Media Talk with Miller and Smith. See you next time.
See you guys.
If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe.